Welcome to Sannidal Church. This church was built in 1771 and continues to be a church for gathering families at baptisms, weddings, funerals, and religious holidays. Helga, our common ancestor, married both Hans Jensen and Sven Sundberg in this church, which has not changed much since the late 1800s. Karl Johan, Helene and Julius Sundberg were the only children of Helgas to marry in Sannidal Church. Helene, Julius, and Adolf, whom returned to Norway after many years in the States, were the only ones to settle in Norway. 6 of Helga's children emigrated to the States, and she never saw them again, except for Adolf. One of the children, Anna Maria, died at only 19 years of age in Kristiansand, Norway, of tuberculosis. Back in the late 1800s and early 1900s, Norway was a more faith-based community. Helga would have gone to church quite often, even though those were hard times. The church was a safe place, gathering people from all over the small community. Now for all Karl Johan Sundberg descendants, this was Karl Johan's wife's farm, called Mo. The farm is just a stone's throw away from the church where Ingeborg and Karl Johan married in 1900. The Dalbraaten farm is just a few hundred yards away from the church. In fact, if you see that road on the right side, you just have to follow it a few hundred meters and then you're at the farm. The last Sundberg grave in Kragerø today is this one. It belongs to Julius Sundberg, Helga's 7th child, his wife Liv, and 5 of their children. Julius inherited the farm and passed it on to his son Sveinung. The grandson of Liv and Julius, Eli, was the last to own the farm, which was sold about 10 years ago. By then, the farm had been in the family for over 150 years. Before we get to Dalbraaten farm, we pass by Sannidal bygdetun. The country courtyard is partly an open-air museum as well as a recreational area. The bygdetun was constructed in the 1940s and consists of original buildings from the 17 and 1800s, moved from various farms in the district. Together, the buildings create an image of an old grand farm. Perhaps even our ancestors may have stepped into one of these old buildings. The brown wooden barns and watermills would have been quite similar to those on Dalbraaten farm. Sannidal bygdetun is a great place to visit to get the feeling that you are indeed stepping back in time. The bygdetun continues to be gathering the people of Sannidal, and they celebrate the national day 17. Mai here. The local historic society also hosts a number of markets and events every year. Now we arrive at the home of Helga Gunnarsdatter, Dalbraaten farm. Today, the farm is called Miljøgården, translated into the environmental farm, and you can get your haircut or rent the barn for special occasions. There are no animals or farming here anymore. You might be surprised to learn that in Helga's time, people would not be known by their actual surname. Helga's birth name was Gundersdatter, but she was always known as Helga Dalbraaten. There wasn't much variety in names, since they usually would alternate between generations. Gunnarsdatter simply means the daughter of Gunder, and was too common. Even Dalbraaten's last owner was called Dalbraaten, even though he indeed is a Sundberg, the last in our family in Norway with that surname. All Hansen and Sundberg children grew up on this farm, and 7 of them emigrated to the States. Now, there are more descendants of Helgas in the United States of America than in Norway. Hi, my name is Tina Tovsen, and I am the great-great-great-granddaughter of Helga Gunnarsdatter. I've been researching her for a couple of years now, and I can't say how excited I am that I actually found some US relatives. I mean, it's quite remarkable after all these years apart, our families joining back together. I really hope that you enjoyed this small video of the small part of Kragerø called Sannidal. And I would like to close with a letter that Helga wrote to her son Isaac in the early 1900s. She thought he was dead and gone, but she got the news that, hey, he's all right. He's living. So I would like to read this to you now. And also, thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you. From Mother. Dear unforgettable son Isaac, thank you for your letter and the portrait of you and yours, dear son Isaac. I am very happy to hear from you, that you are still alive, for I have been thinking about you for many years, and my prayer to God has been that if I didn't get to see you or hear from you, I would get to meet you at heaven's doorstep, where our ways will never be parted again. Now I have heard from you, and thank God for that. Yes, dear son, I have been very ill and still am, so I will soon leave and go to my new home in heaven with Jesus. I will meet you there, where our ways shall never part again, and we shall no longer cry for each other. Yes, dear Isaac, God bless you and your family, and let us meet in heaven with Jesus who died for us all. Maybe no longer seeing each other on earth, but being and seeing each other forever there. Many greetings from your old mother, who will soon be 80 years old, July 4th. Helga Gunnarsdatter.